Shemai everyone, it's JonnyVR here, and Doctor Who is back. It is the 25th of November, the show has returned and it's aired its first 60th anniversary special, and if you're watching from the UK, you'll have of course seen it on BBC One or BBC iPlayer, and if you're watching from the rest of the world, you'll have seen it on Disney Plus for the first time. So if you're joining the show now from Disney Plus, do leave a comment down below, comment what you think of it, and let's have a discussion in the comment section. But yes, welcome, Doctor Who is back, so I'm going to talk about this episode that just aired. As always, the first part is going to be spoiler free, and then I'll go into more details of the actual episode. But man, the first thing that I can tell you about when I was watching this episode was that it takes you back. It is like the show has time traveled back to 2008 when David Tennant and Catherine Tate are the Doctor and the Companion, and it's made everything feel like as it was. It's almost as if this episode needs its own scale, separate from the last 5 years of the show, which is under Chris Chibnall. Now, whether you like the Chris Chibnall era or not, or whether you're new to the show here, there's something for you in this episode. It is almost a back to basics episode in its story in itself, you know, with the various aliens and creatures and the conflict, the action, but yet it somehow manages also to be a good episode for fans of the show, particularly the first David Tennant era. So you have all the characters from the past that is introduced even very well in the beginning with sort of a little bit of recap for the new viewers. But all of those characters that we've seen before in the past 15 years ago, can you believe that, are back, and it's as if they never left the show, to be honest, which is one of the great things about this episode. And this episode as well shows the production quality now that the show has. The creature effects were spectacular, the visual special effects were great. It introduces everything again. You've got the sonic screwdriver, like this one, that if you've picked up a sonic screwdriver, you'll notice it has sound effects. You get to hear them all in this episode, and you get to see David Tennant use it in different ways. The way that David Tennant runs around the set, like he's the Doctor again, like he hasn't left the show like 15 years ago. It's like being in 2008 again. For those who grew up with this Russell T Davies era of Doctor Who, it's like balance has been restored, you know, like after years and years of accepting Doctor Who as it was, now we get Doctor Who as it should be. This episode was great, and it ushers in a whole new era for the show that is going to bring on board everyone who's watching on Disney Plus, and yeah, just pretty much that basically. Welcome to the show. It has a lot of interesting teasers for what's to come. Like this special is part of like a trilogy of specials that will air like over the next 3 weeks. But all in all, it was its own story. Of course, it does have the nods to future episodes, and of course it does end leading into the next one, which if you're new to the show, this is nothing new, but you got the new everything. You got the new screwdriver, new TARDIS, which looks amazing, and you've got the new title sequence. The music in this episode was really it was a bit of a relief, actually. Like every scene that had like great like direction and action, like it was all accompanied by great music, which is of course Murray Gold, who was the composer of the show back when David Tennant was last on air. So everything comes together to give you something that if you're a fan of the show, it's like going back to 2008, and if you're new to the show, it brings you on board with these new characters. The script is funny, the writing is great. This is what we've been waiting for a long time. So that's pretty much all I can say without going into details of the episode. But do stick around at the end of the episode. If you haven't seen it yet, do watch it, come back, listen to the spoilers, and leave comments down below, and listen to my score at the end. But yeah, so pretty much this is your spoiler warning now. But pretty much I was a bit surprised when the episode opened that it was almost like David Tennant and Catherine Tate talking to the camera, like almost giving a recap of the series 4 and specials that were in 2008 and 2009. I thought it was a bit strange to open with this, but I can see why it's necessary for the new viewers. This is like, maybe you didn't have time to catch up, and it gives you a nice little couple of minutes just to show some old footage, explain almost directly to you what the current circumstances are. But so in a way, if you're jumping on now with this episode, you don't need to know everything. It explains it. All the characters are explained. You've got all of the Noble family who are back again, and new additions as well. But I think at the heart of this story is the Doctor and Donna, and the way that the Noble family comes back, and they're all involved in the action, which is really good, except Wilf, who I'm assuming we'll see at some point in the upcoming specials. Although he is mentioned a lot, he doesn't appear in the episodes as I thought he might have done. But maybe at the end of the episode, when they're talking about going to visit Wilf, maybe they save this for the end, as sort of a one last hurrah. But they have all of the Noble family as they were. They've evolved, of course, over time. It's been 15 years, and they acknowledge that. Donna is now a mum, which feels like a really important next step for the character, given the long time that it's been. And she does play a mum incredibly well, which is something that we have not seen in the show before. You have Sean Temple, who's her husband now, and he's in the episode much more than he was in the show in the past. And you have Rose Noble as well, who again plays a key part in the finding of the Meep and the ultimate end of the story. And if you have watched the show before and you know why Donna cannot remember the Doctor, it's all explained. And why the Donna can now remember the Doctor and be safe from harm, I think is done really well. Even managing to tie in some of Donna's final words when she's repeats binary, 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 binary. This is all explained in the script, in the reason why she can now remember the Doctor. And the reason why is because she had this meta crisis that meant that she absorbed the Time Lord's mind, which is too much for her as a human. But in that 15 years where she did not remember, she had a child, and so the meta crisis was almost shared between two, which made it manageable, which I think it's really good. This is where the writing, I think, excels in this episode, because it can take new characters like Rose, it can take old characters like Donna. You've got a problem that she can't actually remember him, and it deals with that in a way that ultimately ends up them defeating the Meep, stopping the ship from launching. And I think the way that he put the binary line in, it was like he meant for it, like back in 2008. That's quite that was quite cheeky, I thought. But yeah, I think the Noble family in this episode is at the heart. You get some amazing moments with David Tennant and Catherine Tate, really showing how good their acting is. They're great. It was a great choice to have them back. I'm really looking forward to seeing them in the next couple of episodes. Now they're free from the whole meta crisis, Donna Noble remembering stuff. So other notable new character is Shirley Ann Bingham, who's unit science officer number 55 or 56. I can't remember which it was, but she actually doesn't have that much screen time as I thought she would. But she is in it throughout. But I think if you make this episode all about introducing her as a character, it's less about the Noble family. But of course, she is in it, and she does help out. And we can look forward to more development of that character in future episodes, if it is believed that she is going to be around for a while. I think that the Meep special effects were incredible, and I think it was quite funny as well, because after the end credits you can see BBC Bad Wolf and the Disney logo, which is now like quite odd to see on Doctor Who, but now that it's airing on Disney Plus all around the world, like there's a lot more money for the show, and you can really tell the special effects, the creature design, they were all incredible. Like many times in Doctor Who, you look at these episodes and think, okay, that special effect is not great, and it has not been great. But like here, the Meep, before the Meep turns evil, is like almost fully like a creature effect and a suit, an animatronic, or I don't know, some sort of thing that a person can get inside. And it really works. It entices you. They got the big eyes, the ears, the paws. They're all moving. Like the Meep, as a as a creature before it turns evil, is looking incredible. And even when the Meep turns evil, if you weren't expecting that plot twist, it sort of shifts to become more CGI with the eyes and the teeth and everything. But even that looks good. Like it's not like the creatures that are fully CGI in the past have looked it. The effects really are good, and it's a positive for times to come. Even the Wrath Warriors, they're all like a costume, but then they show them fly in the air, which is again a special effect that's used really well. And then of course you've got like special effects that include the taking of the soldiers with the psychedelic sun driving the ship, and you've got like the sonic screwdriver making the shield walls. Now that scene was, I like that scene because that was like, I think, one of the key action points of the episode, round about the midway through, where you have David Tennant using the sonic screwdriver to like draw in the air shields, and then he picks it up with his hands and is moving it through the house. Like, this effect was so good. It looked so real. And again, showing you how to use your new sonic screwdriver toy as well at the same time. Then you have like the special effects with the dagger drive right at the very end when the ship is about to launch, and you got like the concrete roads like breaking apart. It all looks better than the show has ever looked before, which is really something that we can look forward to now in future episodes. Yeah, I think overall this episode does everything it needs to do. Introduces you to new characters, gives you character development of characters that we haven't seen in such a long time. The writing is really good, like to a much higher standard than what we've seen in recent years. I think what did it for me was when they had this whole thing about the taxi, and you can see very, very clearly that the taxi gets shot multiple times without a scratch. And at that point, I was thinking, really, that's these London taxis are really durable in this case. And then no, not a scratch on the taxis. And then I was like, okay, they're going to leave it at that. That, I feel, is what would have happened in the previous era of the show. You know, they would leave you to imagine why the taxi is not damaged at any point. But the very next scene, they have this discussion. The Doctor notices how the taxi has not been damaged, and he makes it a whole point in the episode. You know, it's like if you've noticed it, it's like they've noticed it in the writing team, and they want to acknowledge that. So I think the standard of writing is already on show, and it makes it look effortless. Like Russell T Davies, he's brought the show back. He's brought all these characters back. Have this really neat back to basic story, which is good for new people, and he makes it look effortless, which is really, really spectacular. Now it's been a long time waiting, like over a year now since the last episode aired. So the wait is finally over, and now we can look forward to Doctor Who on a more regular schedule. And yeah, if that's pretty much it. I think overall, a solid start to the 60th anniversary specials, and this was one of the specials that we actually knew a lot more about because filming had been seen. The next episode is still one that we know like next to nothing about, so I imagine there's going to be a lot of surprises in this one. So stay tuned as always. So yeah, I'm gonna end with giving this episode a score, and again, I feel like it needs its whole other scale compared to what we've been seeing in recent years. But I feel like I've got to give this a 9 out of 10 because it's new, it's fresh, it gives you like it gives you a little bit of peace at heart. Like, you know, if you've been watching Doctor Who in recent years and thinking, you know, this should be definitely better, but the writing is up to scratch, the acting is incredible, the special effects are great, and the future is bright for the show. So with all of that, it's got, for me, it's a 9 out of 10. Something that an episode of the previous few years would really struggle to reach. But here it's like effortless. It reaches those heights. So let me know what you think, of course. Do leave comments. Let's have a discussion about the episode down below. I'll do my best to respond as they come in. If you're watching from Disney Plus and you've never seen the show before, welcome to the show. If you have any questions, pop them down there as well. And yeah, that's all from me. I think stay tuned for next week. I'll be aiming to do this after every episode. So once the episode's aired and you've watched the episode, do pop by, click like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when these videos go out. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you there. So with all that said and done, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.